What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and there is a different set of rules in Hollywood depending on how you feel politically. And Disney is demonstrating once again the clear double standard they have for people based on whether you fall on the left or on the right. Whether you consider yourself a liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, whatever way you want to kind of describe that, it doesn't really matter because it's quite obvious that Disney does treat people differently depending on their political viewpoints. We all saw what happened to Gina Carano when she reposted a picture that was essentially saying, wow, isn't it interesting what governments do to people, how governments try to turn people against one another, not making light of what happened to anyone else in history, not making light of what happened in World War II, nothing like that. Simply noticing that there's a similarity between how governments who want power like to act. That was it. And she got fired. Not only did she get fired, Lucasfilm came out and made a statement basically smearing her, legitimately slanderous things they said about her as she left. Well, she refused to be canceled, but nonetheless, you couldn't see the clear hypocrisy of this. Now you have another Disney employee, Whoopi Goldberg, who made statements that I think most people, the vast majority of people, find way more offensive than anything Gina Carano did. Now, I don't think that Whoopi Goldberg should be fired. I don't give a shit. She should be able to say whatever she wants. I really do not care. But the simple fact remains that when you're talking about what she said and how it offended a certain community is much worse than what Gina Carano did. Yet Whoopi Goldberg, they weren't even planning to punish her at all. And as it turns out, what is the end result? She gets a 2-week suspension after her apology. Look at the headline. Whoopi Goldberg suspended from The View for Holocaust remarks. Whoopi Goldberg has been suspended for 2 weeks after facing wide criticism for her remarks that the Holocaust was, quote, not about race. Goldberg's suspension was announced Tuesday in a statement released by ABC News Public Relations on Tuesday night. Again, just like how Lucasfilm is owned by Disney, ABC is owned by Disney. Effective immediately, I'm suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks for her wrong and hurtful comments. While Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn on the impact of her comments. The entire ABC News organization stands in solidarity with our Jewish colleagues, friends, family, and communities. Now, what did she say? You might not have heard this. I didn't make a video about it when it happened because honestly, I didn't think anything would come of it, but it's blown the fuck up. I think this happened on Monday. Goldberg's remarks emerged during a conversation on Monday's broadcast of The View, in which the co-host discussed a nonfiction graphic novel about cartoonist Art Spiegelman's father's experience surviving the Holocaust. This is what Whoopi Goldberg said. Let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. It's not about race. It's about man's inhumanity to man. Now that got a lot of pushback from every single Jewish community, from the ADL, from everybody you could possibly imagine. And when you look at the reaction, the vast majority of people found that way more hurtful and offensive than anything Gina Carano had said. But there's different standards at Disney, aren't there? So Whoopi Goldberg ends up with a 2-week suspension as opposed to getting fired, getting embarrassed, getting smeared, getting slandered, all these things that happen to Gina Carano. We've seen the differences of how they handled things like Pedro Pascal and what he said and how much more offensive that was. But it doesn't matter because Pedro Pascal has the right politics. Whoopi Goldberg has the right politics. Now, she apologized for that after a day or so. But when you look at the landscape of what's going on right now, look at what people are pointing out. Roseanne Barr, fired by ABC over a joke tweet. Gina Carano, fired by Disney, who owns ABC, over a Holocaust Instagram post. And I would say for it to be a Holocaust Instagram post is like stretching it. They were comparing what happened in the lead up to bad things happening in World War II, right? And how governments convince people to turn on each other. That's what that was about. And shockingly, look at what's going on right now. Look at what's going on in Canada with the truckers. Look at what's going on right here when people are trying to shame each other for their jab status. Gina Carano wasn't wrong about that post. Whoopi Goldberg dismisses the Holocaust as extremely racist / anti-Semitic statements on live TV. Crickets. This isn't weird in the least. And that did end up in a suspension. Late last night, they announced 2-week suspension for Whoopi. Top show Last Man Standing canceled because ABC didn't like the conservative nature of the lead character. This is Disney. And when you go through, liberal privilege is real. People are asking why Disney fired Gina Carano, but only suspended Whoopi Goldberg. Gina Carano got fired just for sharing a picture while Whoopi Goldberg is expressing her beliefs from her mouth. They fired and humiliated Gina Carano for less, but Goldberg has the right politics. They fired Gina Carano for a meme. Meanwhile, The View's permanently beached whale literally denied the racial basis of the Holocaust on TV and got away scot-free. Now that's changed. We got to acknowledge the suspension, the 2-week suspension, the vacation that she's going to get from that. Bridget Gabriel, Roseanne fired over a tweet. Gina Carano fired over an Instagram post. Whoopi makes racist, anti-Semitic statements, gets a slap on the wrist. Again, I don't think that Whoopi Goldberg should be fired for this. I don't care. I really don't. You know, what she said was stupid. I think she probably honestly believes that, to be clear. But no, I don't think that people should be fired for stupid stuff like this. But the difference is Disney. You have made it very clear where you stand on these things, but there are double standards for each person based on their political viewpoint. So when Bob Chapek, when you say this, remember this happened, what, almost a year ago. Disney CEO Bob Chapek asked about Gina Carano firing, says he doesn't see company as left-leaning or right-leaning. Everyone can see through that. Everyone knows that that's BS now. Everyone knows you are full of shit because you are left-leaning. You do not apply these rules equally between people when they have different political persuasions. And that is garbage. You continue to expose yourselves time after time. And Gina Carano is just one example. Like we said, you got Roseanne, you've got the cancellation of Last Man Standing. You have all these different things that are treated so much differently because they might consider themselves on the right, conservative, whatever. Or honestly, a lot of these people are just in the center likely, but end up getting pushed one way because you only accept something from the woke, far left echo chamber. I'm glad to see a lot of people calling out the hypocrisy in this. Again, I don't care about Whoopi Goldberg. I don't think she should be fired. Whatever. You know what I mean? But to have this clear double standard staring right in our faces, it should be evident. It should be obvious to everyone now what Disney is, who Disney is, and how they feel about you if you don't align with the far left. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my PO box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.